Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Right.
This time, we're taking a look at someone who really needs no introduction.
Right.
Katy Perry. We're talking legacy, future impact, and, well,
All of it.
all of it. Buckle up, because with Katy Perry, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've got articles, interviews, you name it, we've got it.
It can be a good one.
It is. And to make things even more interesting, we're going to be playing a little devil's advocate today.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
You know, presenting different sides of the argument about her influence on pop music and all that.
It sounds fun.
Just to get you thinking, of course. No right answers here, just a good old-fashioned debate.
Debate night. I'm ready.
Me too. So where do we even begin with Katy Perry? I guess the beginning is a good place to start.
Huh, you think? I mean, think about it. She starts as Katherine Hudson, right?
Katherine Hudson.
Yeah, total opposite of the Katy Perry we know now.
Right. Like, who would have thought that little girl singing gospel at 9 years old would become the Katy Perry?
It's wild. Touring with a ministry and everything.
Seriously. It's such a different world from California Girls and those Super Bowl sharks.
Oh, man, those sharks. But hey, maybe that's where she got her start, you know? All those years performing, even if it was gospel.
Yeah. Maybe it gave her that confidence, that stage presence.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something you can't really teach, you know?
Totally. But then she hits her teens and bam, rebellion, sneaking secular music, Freddie Mercury posters on her wall.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
Even writing songs with a little more bite to them.
Makes you wonder, right? Did all those restrictions growing up make her want to break free even more?
Yeah, classic case of pushing boundaries.
You can definitely see that in her early career, especially when she teams up with The Matrix.
Oh, The Matrix, that takes me back.
With the Avril Lavigne days, all that pop-punk energy.
It was everywhere. Do you think they were trying to fit her into that same mold, though? Or was she already doing her own thing?
I don't know. It's hard to say. But I think they saw something in her, that star quality.
Yeah, they must have.
They were both tapping into that same rebellious spirit of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then comes I Kissed a Girl.
Boom! Talk about a statement.
#1 hit, but man, so much controversy.
It was huge.
People loved it. People hated it.
From all sides, too.
Right. Some people were like, finally someone's talking about this, and others were really offended.
Yeah, it's tricky, right? On the one hand, she's bringing bisexuality into the mainstream, which was a big deal back then.
Huge.
But then you have the argument that she's profiting off a community she's not really part of.
Yeah, it's a tough line to walk.
It is. And for Katy, that kind of controversy just became part of her story.
Almost like part of her brand.
You know, for sure. And it just keeps happening throughout her career.
It does.
Like the whole teenage dream era and people saying she was too sexualized.
Right.
Or the Dark Horse video and the accusations of cultural appropriation.
It's because she can't escape it.
Maybe she doesn't want to, you know? Maybe she embraces it.
I remember that whole rusty pants thing with Russell Brand?
Oh, yeah.
Some people would have just crumbled under that kind of scrutiny.
Totally.
But she owned it, made a joke out of it.
She took control.
Exactly. Which brings us to, well, Russell Brand.
Yes, the Russell Brand era.
Two total opposites, and the media just went crazy.
It was a whirlwind.
Did that relationship, messy as it was, fuel her creativity, though?
Interesting question. I mean, Teenage Dream and Prism, two of her biggest albums, came out during and after that time.
Right. So was it inspiration or just a major distraction?
Who knows? It's like she was living her life in a fishbowl, and it all just spilled into her music.
And with Katy Perry, it's hard to separate the person from the persona.
Right. It's all intertwined.
Her image, her music, her life.
Yeah.
It's all one big fascinating package.
But that's what makes her so interesting, right?
Totally. She's not afraid to be vulnerable, to show the messy parts.
Real, raw, and relatable.
And that's something that really connects with people, especially in a world that's so obsessed with perfection.
For sure.
So we've got her gospel roots, the pop-punk phase, the controversies, the Russell Brand years.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Katy Perry has definitely left her mark.
No doubt about it.
But what kind of mark is it? And what's next for her?
That's the million-dollar question.
Well, stay tuned, because we're just getting started.
Yeah, there's so much more to talk about.
Buckle up.
Let's dive deeper.
Deeper we go.
I mean, that's what's so interesting, right? What is her legacy gonna be?
Exactly. Like, is it all about the spectacle and the hits and breaking records?
Yeah. Or is there something more to it?
Right. Something about how she's just so unapologetically herself.
Even with all the, well, you know.
The ups and downs.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget, she's a mom now.
That's true.
Gone through a very public divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Talks openly about her struggles with mental health.
Yeah, she's really putting it all out there.
And you can see how all of that has changed her.
Definitely. And I think her music reflects that too, right? I mean, think about it. You've got California Girls, all fun and carefree.
Right.
And then you've got something like By the Grace of God from Prism.
Totally different vibe.
So much more vulnerability. Like, she's been through some stuff and come out stronger.
It's real, you know? And I think that's what people connect with.
That authenticity.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Prism, that album felt like a real turning point for her, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like, she was intentionally moving towards a more mature sound.
Yeah, exploring different themes like self-discovery and empowerment.
Roar was huge.
The anthem.
Like, anyone who's ever faced a challenge could relate to that song.
And unconditionally.
So beautiful. About self-love and acceptance.
It was like she was shedding that teenage dream skin and stepping into a whole new chapter.
More grounded Katy, maybe?
Yeah, but she still knew how to bring the pop, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Dark Horse with that trap sound and Juicy J.
That was a risk.
And it worked.
Showed she could evolve her sound but still stay true to her pop roots.
Though it did bring more controversy with it.
Of course it did.
Some people accused her of cultural appropriation in the music video.
Yeah, it seems like controversy just follows her.
Like a shadow.
Do you think she seeks it out? Or is it just inevitable when you're that famous?
It's probably a bit of both, honestly. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
When you're that big, every little thing you do is under a microscope.
True.
There's always going to be someone who finds something to be offended about.
Yeah, that's the price of fame, I guess.
But she's also never been afraid to push buttons, you know?
She's definitely not playing it safe.
No. Like, even back in the teenage dream era.
The whipped cream bras, all the candy-colored visuals.
It was over the top, in your face.
And very deliberate.
Oh, yeah. She knew exactly what she was doing.
It's interesting to think about how that would be perceived today, though.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
The conversations around gender and sexuality and representation have changed so much.
Would she make those same choices now?
It's hard to say. It's tough to judge art from a different time by today's standards.
True.
But it's definitely something to consider when we talk about her legacy.
Yeah, how will people remember her? What will her impact be?
I mean, what do you think? Is it the catchy songs, the visuals, the sheer number of hits?
Or is it something more about her personality, her willingness to be open and honest?
Yeah, that connection she makes with her fans.
To me, it feels like a mix of everything.
It probably is. She knows how to make a pop song, that's for sure.
No doubt.
But she's also just so relatable, you know?
She owns her flaws.
And that makes her human.
Exactly.
Plus, she's never stopped evolving, always trying new things.
She never lets herself get put in a box.
And that's got to count for something, right?
Absolutely. It's made her career so interesting to follow.
So what's next? Where does Katy Perry go from here?
New music is definitely on the horizon.
We know that.
She's a judge on American Idol. She's a mom.
How do you think all those roles will affect her creativity?
Well, I think motherhood has already had a huge impact.
I can see that.
She's talked about how it shifted her perspective, made her more aware of the world.
Yeah, and that's got to come out in her music somehow.
For sure. Do you think we'll see a more introspective Katy?
Maybe.
Less focused on the big hits and more on telling stories that really resonate?
It's possible. I mean, Prism showed us she's capable of that depth.
True.
But I wouldn't be surprised if she throws us a curveball and goes full-on pop again.
Oh, yeah, a teenage dream part 2.
Why not? She loves to entertain. She loves to put on a show.
It's part of her DNA.
Maybe we'll get a mix of both.
That would be cool.
Songs that make you think and feel and dance all at the same time.
Now that would be the sweet spot.
Right, a Katy Perry who can do it all.
And don't forget, she's a role model for so many young women.
Oh yeah, she's navigated this crazy world of fame with so much resilience.
She's been through it all.
Heartbreak, mental health struggles, the whole 9 yards.
And she talks about it openly.
Which makes her even more relatable.
It's like she's saying, hey, I'm just a normal person figuring things out too.
Which is such an important message in this age of social media perfection.
It is. So looking ahead, I think it's safe to say that Katy Perry is still evolving.
She's not done yet.
Still pushing boundaries and finding new ways to connect with her audience.
She's definitely one to watch.
Always keeps you guessing.
And that's what makes her so fascinating. Okay, so now it's your turn. You've heard our thoughts. But what do you think is next for Katy Perry?
We've given you the pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
Gospel, pop punk, the controversies, her personal growth.
Now it's time for you to put it all together and tell us.
What's the future look like for Katy Perry?
Exactly. Will she keep going down that more introspective route? Music about motherhood, about being a woman in her 30s.
Yeah, or maybe she flips the script completely back to pure pop.
Like Teenage Dream, but even bigger.
Who knows? That's the beauty of it.
The thing about Katy Perry is that she can do anything.
She's always reinventing herself.
A genre-bending collaboration, some crazy new visual style.
Maybe she'll just disappear for a while and come back with something totally unexpected.
Ooh, what if she does a Broadway show?
Oh, I could see that.
All those costumes, the dancing.
It would be epic.
A total spectacle.
She could even do a movie musical.
Oh, yeah.
Or even direct.
I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Really are.
But no matter what she does, she's already made a huge impact on pop music.
Oh, absolutely.
She's broken records. She's inspired so many people.
Started important conversations about gender, sexuality, representation.
All while being true to herself.
Never letting anyone put her in a box.
And that's something to admire,
Definitely. She takes risks, she makes mistakes, she learns and grows.
It's a journey we can all relate to.
Whether you're a pop star or not.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we have one last question for you.
Okay, hit us.
What do you think defines Katy Perry's legacy?
Yeah, what stands out to you?
Is it the anthems, the controversies, her evolution as an artist?
What are those moments, those songs that really capture her impact?
Take some time to think about it, her whole journey.
How she's influenced pop music, how she'll be remembered.
And what you think the future holds for her.
Because that's what legacy is all about, right?
How an artist's work continues to resonate and inspire even after they're gone.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe your predictions will come true.
Maybe a few years from now, we'll be back here doing another Katy Perry deep dive.
Talking about her latest reinvention, her next chapter.
Wouldn't that be something?
It would.
But until then, keep listening, keep those minds open.
And thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.